Some of you may have noticed that when I play this game and I load a level, the loading times are really, really long. And it's really annoying and I don't like it. This is for almost every level in the game. But this is actually an emulator bug. Let me show you. One more level, long ass loading time. But, alright, let's compare to real console here on my Twitter. This is real console up there, emulator is down here. Console is already done. Emulator is still going, it's like more than twice as long. Why is this? It's because emulators try to emulate lag. How do they do that? They look at how many cycles your code is. So like, let's say this is our code, and then they count up the cycles, and then they multiply it with a counter factor, which let's just say they use 4. And then they're like, well, your code probably took 4 times as many cycles as the instructions because and then that's just like what they assume. But 4 is a really inaccurate counterfactor because depending on how your game is laid out, the real counterfactor could be between 1 and 7.5. Look, for example, at a code like this, just 2 lines of code, back to the beginning. These are all loaded in cache, which means they take exactly as many cycles to execute as the instruction says. So here, the counterfactor would be 1. Now look at a code that's just like line, 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 line. And none of them are ever cached, and it just keeps going down. Well, now, every single one of these instructions needs 7.5 cycles on average to be loaded in the memory. So the counterfactor could be as high as 7.5. Basically, the less optimized your game is, the more likely emulator is gonna lag less than real console. Whereas if you make an optimized game like I'm doing, emulator is gonna lag more than console. Which is why you will have to play Return to Yoshi's Island with lag emulation turned off.